This is the second blog. Last week I have been telling mainly about my work, and actually last week was also our last week of our Remind HIV study, in which we were investigating this box. You remember the box which opens and sends a signal to us, and if the signal is not coming on time, we can send a message to the study participant to tell them they haven't taken their medication yet. So actually last week we finished the follow-up, so this means we had recruited 265 participants in our study, and last week we finished the last few patients who still needed to come for their last study visit. And that is actually a great achievement, because from there we can now start looking at the data, doing analysis and write it up.
So this week we sat together with the whole team and also with my mentor Rob from the Netherlands to discuss the results.
And last is we compare normally the standard of care to make sure that if this intervention will have effect actually to the standard of care. So this is the 3 arms study, and then we do the randomization, we divide it equally, number of the patients who have been enrolled. So this study is funded by Career Development Fellowship, CDF, under EDCP, and Marion, she was the one who owned the grant as the project PI and a postdoc. Main objective, first of all, just to investigate if the intervention, like in SMS and the real-time medication monitoring, will have any effect on improving the adherence to the people who are taking the therapy. And later, just for Marion perspective, is to promote the career.
So right now I am checking some of the data to see if still some data has to be cleaned. This means if we see strange values or missing values, we have to follow up with the study nurses and pharmacists from the hospitals to make the data complete. And then we can do the analysis. And actually we have only 3 or 4 months left to finalize this, because that will be the end of my career development fellowship. So me and a PhD student in my fellowship still have to do quite a lot of work to finalize this together with the supervisors in the Netherlands to make sure that we will bring this to a good end. And hopefully after that I will have another fellowship for which I am applying that I told you last week about. And it's very important that we bring the application also to a good end. And actually now we have the time and energy to do that because of finalizing the study follow-up of the first study. So I'm going to continue with some of the data issues now to make sure that the data is ready for analysis. So I actually decided to check the data of this participant. This is the medication intake graph that is produced by the box which I just showed you. And this participant was recruited in February last year. And you can see he is quite adherent. And all these dots are the openings of the pill box. So you can see around 8 in the evening. Every day he took his pills, although here it seems to be just out of the bar, and that means actually the intake was too late. The reason I'm checking it for this participant is that I saw from May his treatment outcomes were not so well, and that means that I saw his viral load was going up. So I just wanted to check what's going on, and here we see he's already missing a few doses medication, here again and here again and here again and here. And then if we check the next months, suddenly the intakes got very little. So this means that probably the participant was not taking the medication anymore. So we see he didn't open the box that well anymore, which is a proxy for not taking medication. And this is actually very much in line with the viral load outcomes that we see for this participant in our data. So yeah, what could be a conclusion is that maybe this participant was not so happy with using this type of pill box, or he had other issues. So we are going to dive into this, and we can never base conclusions on one participant, so we will of course look at average results of the total population. But yeah, this is a good one where you can see that the adherence was very bad, because the red ones means actually the missed medication intakes. Green is the adherence, and it's 16%, which is very low. Matches with the treatment outcome, showing that his viral load actually spiraled up to very high levels. And here is where he ended participation in our study on 25 January of this year, and this is just an example of many of our patients. I've worked on the data for a while now. I just have to finalize one more document for the submission, and after I upload this, then I'm going to take a little break before I really am going to press the button, I think. I'm standing at the balcony of our research building, and behind me is the hospital. And today it's submission day for the senior fellowship, so I'm rather excited. I just finished the last document, and I'm actually just a bit scared to push the button, because if I push the button it means no changes can be made. But we've been working on this for so many months together as a team, so yeah, what more can we do in one day? We started with this preparation for this fellowship in July, when I met with my mentor in the Netherlands, together with a PhD student in my current fellowship, to discuss on what can we do. And from there we had a brainstorm session with some people who are working on the ground of our current studies, and we came up with the idea for this fellowship. And then after that I started writing, and I think I started somewhere in October. And with that I also had to find a trainee from a country which is less developed in research capacity and which is less supported by EDSDP. So I managed to find this very ambitious young doctor from Rwanda, and she has done a great job also in writing her part of the proposal. So yeah, here we are after almost 6 months of hard work together with the team, and yeah, I'm just trying to relax a bit here on the balcony to prepare for the final push, the final press of the button. And then we have to wait probably another half a year before we will get the results. But yeah, that's part of research life. So I'm back in my office and looking at the screen of the application, and let me first validate if really everything is included there. Yeah. It says the application now meets the minimum validation criteria. If you are happy with the content, please exit the application by clicking Save and Close, and then click the Submit button to submit the application. So we can see here 100% complete, and that is what we were working towards in the past months. Yeah, so I think I'm ready. Let me click on Save and Close. We go back to the initial screen. And really the team has done a great job in this. It's not myself who worked on this on my own. Here is the Submit button. So yeah, let me do it. Are you sure you want to submit this grant application? Well, not really, but let me say yes.
The submission was successfully received on 18th of February at 8:05 and is being processed. Yay! Time for some drinks. So I just came home after a bike ride. As the cycling with the bike is up, I did not really find a way to film that because that's not easy. I think it's time for a glass of wine now, because after the hard work, I should have shared it with my team, but maybe that the next time. Cheers!